hello to everyone from Taylor's, and hope you had a good day. Thanks for inviting me to come up with some alternative options for the non-beer drinkers on this obviously very beer-dominated traditional occasion. And I've come up with I've selected three German wines for you to taste, and they're all from the Pfalz region. That's P-F-A-L-Z, Pfalz region of Germany, which is particularly interesting in terms of being one of the most kind of exciting. It's certainly the largest German wine producing area, and also probably one of the most exciting. It's the driest and sunniest part of the whole vineyard area in Germany. And yeah, as I say, we've got three wines for you to try, all different styles, and hopefully you'll enjoy those. And we'll go through those in a little bit more detail. But first of all, just to introduce them to you, we've got a off-dry Riesling called Wandel Riesling. That's 2018 vintage, 11% alcohol, and as I say, slightly off-dry. Then we've got the Villa Wolf 2019 Gewurztraminer. That's a spicier style of wine, slightly more kind of obvious fruity flavour, and that's from Villa Wolf, also in Pfalz. And finally, we've got the red wine, which is the Mesmer, made in Pfalz, Spätburgunder. And Spätburgunder is also known as Pinot Noir. Same grape, and it's really just it's the winemaker's decision in terms of, sometimes you'll see a Pinot Noir on a German label, sometimes you'll see Spätburgunder. Okay, so let's taste the first wine. This is the Wandel Riesling Pfalz, and if you have a look at it in the glass, it's very clear, very pale, but completely bright and clear, as you would hope. A nice kind of freshness, very sort of appley, citrusy, quite simple, but a nice kind of peachy sort of stone fruit. Kind of classic Riesling. So on the palate, you get that nice sort of apple freshness, that peachiness coming through, but also you're getting a little bit of softness and some sweetness as well. You're getting there's definitely some sugar there, and on the finish you can still taste that sort of nice, fresh, but quite soft, quite pleasant, very sort of pleasant and refreshing, and but a little bit of sweetness which kind of rounds it off and softens it a little bit. It's definitely off dry. It's not like one of those. If you're around anywhere near my age, then you probably remember I think the best-selling wine in the UK in the 70s, maybe even to the early 80s, was Liebfraumilch, and that was not off-dry, that was sweet. It had kind of real, it's like sugar water. And this one's much more toned down, much more soft, and much more balanced. But it does have that little sort of hint of sweetness. It's not bone dry. So Riesling, as a grape variety, ages incredibly well. It can age incredibly well because of the natural sugar level, the natural acidity, and basically give it a huge potential to be able to age really well. This one is meant to be drunk young. It's simple, it's fresh, it's refreshing. It's just a nice kind of, it's a nice drink, it's a nice simple drink. Okay, so let's try the second wine, which is the Villa Wolf Gewurztraminer 2019, again from Pfalz. Gewurztraminer, literally, Gewürz is German for spice, and that's the style of the wine. It's very distinctive. It's one of the most distinctive grape varieties in terms of flavour profile. You often get slightly kind of rose petally, very perfumey, sometimes sort of lychee kind of character to it. Works really well with Asian curries, like a Thai curry. Works really well with that sort of cuisine, fusion cuisine, because of the nice sort of spicy character that it has. So anyway, if you look at the colour, very nice pale, clear colour, same as the last wine we had, Riesling, and oh yeah, that's lovely. That's classic Gewurztraminer. It's you do get that sort of very sort of perfumey, rose petally, grapey sort of flavour. It's in the same sort of character as the same sort of flavour and aroma as you get from a muscat. And then when you taste that wine, yeah, lovely. All that sort of nice spiciness, that sort of rose petal, perfumey character comes through really well on the palate. I think that, to me, that's very slightly off dry, but pretty dry, to be honest. And it's kind of nicely integrated, nicely toned down, but it's got that good varietal character. That's really nice. Gewurztraminer. Sometimes with Gewurztraminer, because it's quite distinctive and very sort of, in your face, full on flavour, if it's a bit too overblown, can be too much. But that one I think is nice and quite elegant, quite fresh, as well as having that nice sort of perfume and nice varietal character to it. So on to the third wine, which is the Mesmer, made in Pfalz, Spätburgunder / Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is being more and more widely planted in the German vineyards at the moment. It's becoming much more prevalent, and as are red wines in general. In fact, I think the overall production, the overall vineyard area is now 60-40 white to red. So 40% of the German vineyards are now planted to red grape varieties, which I was quite surprised by, because obviously you don't always associate German wines or German wine production with red grapes, but I guess the climate is having some effects on that. It's meaning that previously, only a few, 2 or 3 generations ago, it was, less than 2 or 3 decades ago, it was very difficult for German wine has always been very marginal, and some years you'll get ripe grapes, some years you'll really struggle to get the grapes ripe enough to produce good wine, so you get a lot of acidity, and it was very difficult for wine producers to get the correct ripeness in the grapes that they needed. You speak to German wine growers now, and they are, it's really affected them. The whole climate change aspect of things has really affected them quite positively, in the sense that they can now be fairly confident that they're going to be able to produce grapes to the level that they need to ripen. Anyway, that's obviously has a good effect on the red grapes, because they are generally later ripeners than the white grapes. Okay, so this is the Pinot Noir, nice pale colour, quite youthful. You see it's still quite vibrant and purple, but quite light. It's not a rich wine. And then you've got nice kind of red fruit, strawberries, cherry on the nose. Nice, good Pinot character, Pinot fruit. Oh, and then a really nice kind of bright, fruity, well balanced. It's got an acidity, but it's also got lots of kind of nice, juicy, soft red fruit there as well. So I hope very much you've enjoyed that little selection of wines from Germany, from the Pfalz, and yeah, there's a lot of wines coming out of there, a lot of really good things, and that was just a small sort of little cross section of what's available from Germany and from Pfalz. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed it, and enjoy the rest of your bottles and the rest of your evening. Thank you.